Let's talk about it. Is 75,000 the new minimum wage? Before I give you my understanding, we're going to get into the clip where this gentleman believes that 75K is not a thriving wage in 2025.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're
Just to give a little context, if you make $75,000 a year, you make more than about 80 to 82% of people.
going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the you can go buy a car for. Shut up. You can't. Shut up. Stop saying ridiculous things. An entry level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those two things come out of their paycheck and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a one-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy. That car payment's $579 a month. Car insurance, $240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person, you've got a nice job, but the insurance companies still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home and you only eat decent quality food because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $879 a month for that. You
I don't know. For a single person, 879 seems a little high.
spend $250 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make 75 grand a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your 800, you don't get to do it. You have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's 300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be entertained. They want to date. They want to. There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means objectively you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world. This is unsustainable.
Okay, so there we have it. He makes some solid points. I'm not going to lie. When he broke down the numbers, 75,000, I guess it broke down to after taxes and contributing to 5% to a retirement plan, which everyone I do agree with should be saving for retirement. I just did a video yesterday talking about how so many people in their 50s and 60s are saying they literally have nothing saved for retirement and they don't know what to do. And you had literally 60 and 70 years old on there talking about they have to hustle just to make ends meet um, at the end of the month. So I definitely agree with that. So after you take out taxes, which is going to vary from person to person, depending upon your dependents, but roughly $57,000, he allotted about $1,700. I believe $1,500. It was either 15 or $1,700 for rent, which I think is fair in most major cities. I mean, outside of something like a California or New York, where I mean, rent prices are absolutely absorbed it. I do think about 1,700 is fair. Um, he allotted $30,000 for a decent used car, which is probably pretty much in line with the going price, is about 25, 30. I think that would be a couple $100. Then you have insurance. Um, I'm not going to break down everything, but long story short, it came down. You were left with $3,700 annually, which would break down to $320 a month. And literally, that did not include any eating out. That did not include any type of travel, and that did not include any type of entertainment. Um, when you look at it like this, it almost makes it seem like 75,000 might be the new minimum wage. Now I know a lot of people are going to be taken back by that, because I know on average the average person is probably making around 50 to $60,000, give or take. Might even be a little bit less than that. But when you really do the math, you can see why so many Americans are struggling to keep up. Um, Again, like I said, most people do not make $75,000 a year. Average home price, we're probably talking three, $400,000. I mean, I don't even think you'll be able to qualify for a mortgage on a three or $400,000 house, and if so, it'd be very tight with only making $75,000. And we know that there's a lot more upkeep that comes with a house compared to just renting an apartment. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe $75,000 is the new minimum wage? Or is he being a bit dramatic? Is he being is he over exaggerating? Again, like I said, by his breakdown, I mean, he named very simple things. Again, only thing I thought that he was a little high on was his groceries. I mean, if you're a single adult and you're not eating out throughout the month and you're cooking your food, you should be able to do that for a lot less than about, I think he allotted $900. Other than that, he was pretty much spot on with his numbers. Again, cell phone, internet, rent, insurance. I mean, a decent, reliable car. Again, like I said, I just did a previous video talking about the car prices in 2025, and they had a Honda CRV, not a Pilot, a CRV, a mid-sized car, and that was going for over $40,000. So he, as much as it seems initially like he might be being dramatic, he's actually spot on. We're getting to the point now where really you have to make about $100,000 really just to be able to keep your head above water. Now, if you're making 75 and you don't have no kids, yes, you can make it work. You're definitely not balling out of control at all. But I mean, if you got 75K and two kids, or you have a family of four with a household income of about 75 to $100,000, um, that's almost borderline struggle, and that's probably why we see so much credit card debt. We see so many people working two and three jobs. This hustle culture that we have, Uber, Lyft, everyone trying to do what they can just to make a few extra dollars at the end of the month. But let me know in the comments below, do you believe 75K is the new minimum wage? I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.